Good evening, everybody. Saturday evening again. I don't know where the week's whizzed by and suddenly we're on Saturday again. But it's been a very interesting day. Just going to refresh the page and see who's coming in. And for those of you watching live, welcome. And those of you on the replay, this is being recorded on Saturday, the 23rd of June, 2018. It's been a beautiful, glorious sunny day here on the Isle of Wight, and very busy day, very busy weekend here on the Isle of Wight because the Isle of Wight festival is on, and lots of people on the island, lots of traffic, lots of bus delays and things. Hi Sandy. And so I wanted to go to Newport today. I live in Ryde and I wanted to go to Newport, and normally I'd walk down the road and get off on the number 9 bus. And I could have done that, but I wasn't sure whether I would be stuck on a bus that wasn't moving very fast or going anywhere much for a long time. So I decided, hi Charlene, I decided to get on the bus, to go on the 37 down to the Ryde bus station and get on the number, I was going to get on the number 2 bus and go the long way round to Newport to avoid all the festival area. Excuse me. So that was my plan. But when I got down to Ryde bus station, there was a number 3 in. Now the number 3 takes nearly 2 hours to get to Newport from Ryde. The number 2, hi Paul, the number 2 takes about an hour, just under an hour and a half to get there. Hi Nathan. So what I decided was I would get on the number 3, go as far as Sandown, hop off at Sandown, pop across the road to a lovely shop called Island Girl, where they got some beautiful clothes. Hi Catherine. Very reasonably priced. And so that's what I decided to do. I'd do that. I'd get off the bus at Sandown and then get back on, hi Kirsty, back on the bus, then get on the number 2 and go to Newport that way. So that was my plan. So it wasn't the original plan. The original plan was to get the number 2, but because the number 3 was there, I hopped on the number 3. And when I got on the number 3, this voice said, hello Lynn. And there was Billy. Billy is a counsellor. Hi everybody. Billy is one of our local counsellors. He lives in Ventnor, but he was boarding the number 3 bus. And he saw me and he said, oh, I mean, we have met before, but he hasn't seen me since I've been doing all this knitting. He's been watching. And so we were talking across the bus. I said, why don't you come and sit next to me? So he came and sat next to me. He wanted to see, I was showing him all the bits and pieces of the knitting. And of course I said to him, well, you'll have to have a selfie. You can't get off without having a selfie with some of the knitting. So he had a selfie with the pizza. He chose the pizza to have his selfie with. And we had a lovely chat. So it's really nice. Knit one, that's right, knit one, purl one, drop one. When the bus is going like this, I did drop some stitches today, and it was so fiddly. I'll tell you, it was a dark colour I was working on. It was so fiddly that instead of fiddling to pick them up, I just pulled them off and started again. It was only something small I was knitting, so it was okay. Some of the roads are bumpy, and there are a few issues. One of the things I have done, though, those of you who've listened to other broadcasts this week will know, I've bought shorter knitting needles. I had a first world problem. First of all, if somebody sat next to me on the bus, I was in danger of poking them with the end of the needle, but also I had some lovely lacy tops, and because the needles were long, the needles got stuck in the lace. So either I didn't wear the lacy tops or I didn't do the knitting. And so now I can do both. I can wear the lacy tops because I've got very short needles. I'm only knitting small things. So, I mean, if I was knitting a huge shawl or something, it wouldn't work because you obviously need a longer needle to put the stitches on. But sometimes I've only got 6 or 12 stitches on, so it was okay. Anyway, so the reason for going on the bus on the 3 and the 2 was to avoid all the festival traffic. What a fun that was, because I got off in Sandown, I went across and I went to the shop with the lovely things, and I have got Look, you know, I'm always telling you can't have enough sparkle. Look, I don't know if you can see the sparkle. I've got lots of sparkle on my new T-shirt. Don't know if it's catching it, but there you go. I'll stop flashing my chest now. But I got this lovely thing and one or two other lovely bits. Very, very, very lovely shop. Very reasonable prices. You know, because you've got to learn how you can make the money go further. And of course, I always say never lose your sparkle. So I have sparkle. And I'm going to read out of my Never Lose Your Sparkle book. It says, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. And that's Les Brown. I listen to Les Brown a lot. If you want a lot of inspiration and motivation, Google him. Les Brown, he's fantastic. Lots of motivational stuff, but very, very funny too. And of course, I have a wicked sense of humour, so he appeals to me. So one more out of the Never Lose Your Sparkle book. No one can drive us crazy unless we give them the keys. And that's Douglas Horton. And I must tell you, I went to buy a train ticket the other day. I'm going on granny duty soon, and I buy my tickets in the station. I like to give the people there a reason to still have a job rather than use machines or use the internet. I did use the internet before. It let me down badly. Hi, Helen. And so now I go into the station and up to the counter and have a lot of banter with the people there. Well, this week I walked in and the lovely lady there, she said, "Oh, hello, it's the crazy lady." And I thought, you know, I nearly said it takes one to know one. I didn't, but you know, we had a lot of banter, and it's all about having banter, isn't it? It's all about not losing your sparkle. It's all about having that lots of fun. And so it's, you know, it is lovely. I love to do those things. And also, hi Chris, always look on the bright side. I got another little one a couple out of this book for you, and then I'll carry on with my bus journey. Some people grumble that roses have thorns. I am grateful that thorns have roses. And that's Alphonse Carr. And there's a little rose that I was knitting. I've got to make it stalk yet, but I haven't done that. On the bus today, one of the things I was doing on the way to Newport, I was finishing off the second part. There's a back and a front, and I've now done both the back and the front of that, and then I've got to do the stalk. Nathan has asked me to make 10 of these, but I'm hoping that he will let me borrow them for the county show, because in the county show, I'm putting in an entry into the In Bloom section in the horticulture tent. I'm putting in Bloom. No, wait a minute. Yes, In Bloom. Time for tea and fruit and veg, but I'll come onto those different things because they're all knitted entries, and so I have to be very busy if I'm to achieve. And I've told everybody I'm going to do it, and there's only 2 weeks to do it. I didn't realise this time was so short, but never mind. So anyway, so that was about the roses. This other one: laugh as if it's funny, embrace as if it's love, and smile anyway. And that's Rigel, I think. Goodrich. Look, it's on yellow, and white on yellow doesn't work very well. Hi, Corinda. So that's difficult. And did I say hello to Chris? I hope I did. I can't remember. Sometimes they flash up while I'm talking and I forget. So that's those little books. I have a little pile of props as usual on my table. So just working my way round them. So I went into, and the shop where I got my lovely sparkly top is called Island Girl. And lovely shop. If you haven't seen it, ladies, if you haven't seen it and you're on the island, go to Sandown, and it's near the bus stop in the high street, the bottom part of the high street. And it's really lovely. And say Lynn sent you. There you go. Anyway, that was really nice. So I got myself some sparkle, a bit more sparkle. And I hope you like my new sparkly earrings. I got some different ones. They're very similar to the other ones, but they're sort of plain colour. So there we go. I have been told off. I don't remember who it was, but one day somebody said, "Lynn, you haven't got your earrings on." So I'm very conscious now of whether I have my earrings on when I broadcast. But and actually the pink ones that I've been wearing recently, I've had so many compliments for them. And I get these in Splash in Union Street, halfway down Union Street, one of my favourite shops in Ryde, and very, very reasonably priced. There we go. I can't do this expensive jewellery. It doesn't work. And I don't like to anyway, because if I lose an earring and I've spent a lot of money on it, that's, you know, that's a bit sad. Anyway, so where was I? I was in Sandown High Street. So I finished in the shop, in the Island Girl shop, buying my sparklies, and I saw a number 8. Now, a number 8 goes to Newport as well, but from Ryde to Newport, it's about nearly 2 hours, the same as the number 3. And I thought I could run across and get on that, but no, actually, I fancy an ice cream. So I was looking for a shop with an ice cream. I went in one shop, and there was not much in there, and nobody said, could they help me or anything? And it didn't look a very friendly and inviting shop. So I like good customer service. I like people who care whether I've walked into their shop or not. So anyway, I left that shop and I thought, oh, I'm going to walk up a bit. I knew I had about just over 10 minutes before the next number 2 came in. So I walked up a bit and I came to lovely Terry's gift shop, which I've live streamed in before. Really lovely people. It's on a corner. It's on a corner of the high street and a side street. And Mr. whatever his name is, I can't remember the name, sorry. It's Terry's gift shop. So I think Terry's the lady who runs it. Mate, I don't know. I think it's Terry is the lady. Oh dear, now I'm letting myself down. I'll have to refresh on that. Sorry, I'm tired. It's been a long day. But on the fact that I'm tired, in my time hop yesterday, it popped up and I'd totally forgotten that this day a year ago, my nephew got married to lovely Ruth, but they had 2 weddings. The reason I didn't really remember this one was because they had a UK wedding in July, but they had an Australian wedding in June, and they live streamed it. But of course, we had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch it. And so this time a year ago, I was mega tired because it would be like this morning, not going into, it would be Friday going into Saturday for us. And I remember getting online, getting it all up, and then having an issue with the connection. And I thought, no, I can't miss the wedding. I can't. I rang my son. I said, oh, I can't get online. And he told me to tweak something. I don't know. Anyway, I managed to tweak it and I got the live stream of Ruth and Matthew's first wedding, because they then went on to, well, that was their actual wedding, but of course they had a whole wedding celebration here, but it was actually a blessing, obviously, in the church because they were already married. But they did the whole ceremony with the all the lovely ceremony as well. We had a fantastic time. Unfortunately, the day that they got married, it rained, but it didn't dampen anybody's spirits. It was lovely and super. So that was just the link with the being tired. So anyway, I went into the Mr. whatever his name was out painting the outside of the shop, and I said to him, oh, do you know where I can get an ice cream? He said, we sell them in here. and it was Isle of Wight ice cream too. Mingella's ice cream, it's even better. And so I went in there, chose myself a nice ice cream, and then wandered. It was in a tub, so it was easy. So I wandered to the bus stop and had a sit down and eat my ice cream. And the timing was perfect because I just finished the ice cream when the bus came along. And so got on the bus and hi Debbie, and thought, well, yes, okay, well, I'll wend my way round to Newport. I'll carry on. I'll do my knitting on. I'll finish off my sunflower or the main part of it, and then I'll see what else I've got time to do. But then actually what happened, don't forget, I've gone on the number 2 the long way round to avoid all the festival traffic. But what I didn't realise, and this was fine because the bus was moving all the time, it was slow at the bus stops because so many people going to the festival were not actually staying on the campsite. They were decided that they didn't want to do all the the sleeping in tents and the terrible toilets as they get at festival sites. They obviously decided they wanted to stay in better accommodation. And so a lot of them were staying in Sandown and Shanklin and all around there. And so, of course, there were mega queues for the bus. Fortunately, I had got on and I had a seat and I was able to do my knitting. So then, and all of a sudden there were all these people with loads, I mean, you know, I say never lose your sparkle, but there were all these people with glitter and gold. There was a lot of gold, and suddenly I realised there must be a theme to this festival. And I'm not a festival person, so I hadn't really taken too much attention to it. I don't mind other people enjoying themselves as long as it doesn't, you know, it doesn't impact on us islanders. Well, I'm not an islander, but, you know, impact on what we're doing. Oh, that's lovely. You've been to Osborne House today. It's great there, isn't it? And so the guy, actually, when I got on the bus, there was a guy in front of me. I didn't get my camera out quickly enough, but he had absolutely glitzy shoes, really gold. You know, these were gold shoes to die for. And but I was just too slow. I was trying to, you know, get ready to get on the bus, and too slow with the camera to actually take a snap of the shoes, not realizing that so many people getting on the bus on next stops were all going to be in glitz and, you know, glitter and gold, and there was a gold theme running through. And so I sort of did a little bit of I don't know. I'd been on Twitter yesterday. Yes, thanks, Amelia. I realised. Oh, today was actually Gold Day. What I realised, Amelia, yesterday. I actually, although I don't do the festival, I did scroll through. I clicked on all the festival tweets, and I was looking at lots of things going on there and listening to a bit of the music, and I noticed a hashtag IOW50. And I didn't know what it was because I haven't been following it. And I just, you know, had a look around because I thought it was very significant. Is it 50 years old? And so eventually I found out that it was the 50th anniversary of the festival. And then, so when all this gold was going on, it's sort of 50 is a golden wedding anniversary, you know, that's what I suddenly twigged that, hey, this was something to do with it. But it was lovely. I mean, I love dressing up. I love sparkle. So it's lovely watching all these people. But so many of them got on the bus, and actually they couldn't all get on the bus, you know, because there's a limit. Some of them went upstairs, but the bus driver had to get off and tell them to come down because they hadn't got seats and they're not allowed to stand upstairs. So downstairs was absolutely packed. I was fine because I was still able to knit because I'd got my little knitting needles. So some guy sat down next to me. Then he started chatting to me about the knitting, as everybody does. They had a competition. I think that means a competition today. But best gold costume. Wow, I would really not know where they would start judging that one. For seeing the people that were on the bus today, I would not know how they would start judging that. There'd have to be something absolutely way out golden to actually stand out from what I saw. I saw so many amazing glitzy people there, and it was just wonderful. So anyway, I was all right because I could carry on knitting. So the guy I sit at the front, the front of the bus, and I got Lilac Lil just in front of me. People all down the bus. So the guy next to me starts talking to me and was very interested in all my knitting. And that's how I was talking to him about that. And then there was a guy standing up, and I needed to go in Lilac Lil, maybe to get another ball of wool or something. I moved Lilac Lil, and he apologised. But I said, don't worry. I said, you can't help it, because everybody was rammed in. He thought he'd pushed it. I said, no, don't worry. And so then he started engaging in conversation with me. So we had this wonderful conversation, and lots of conversation about knitting. I was talking to them about the festival as well, and where they'd come from, and whether they'd been to the island before. Doing my hostess bit for the Isle of Wight, because I love to know, if people are coming regularly to the island, and if not, why not? And so, chatting to them. I'm an unofficial island ambassador. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And so they were really friendly, these guys. Hi, Mike. And so I was chatting, but I wouldn't let them get off the bus till we'd had a selfie. So I don't know if I've put the selfie up yet. I think I did. So that was lots of fun. But obviously the bus took longer to get to Newport because at every bus stop, people piling on it. And in the end, on the last bus stops, the bus didn't even stop for anybody because he couldn't take any more passengers and nobody was getting off. So we just got to Newport. So the reason I was going to Newport was because there's a wool shop. Sadly, it's closing down. TAJ Crafts in Pyle Street. But I'd had some wool put by. Now, I've probably got enough wool in my flat to stock a wool shop. But you never can have too much wool. You never got the right colour when you're coming to do something. I've been because I'm doing all this knitting of food and putting this entry into the county show. I'm doing something around fruit, so I needed grape coloured fruit. And then we were having a debate about what colour I would need. So eventually I got round to the shop, which is not far from the bus station, so that was fine. I thought, oh, I'll go in Comic Coffee. I won't go there first. I'll go and get my wool first. So Comic Coffee is a coffee shop I go in Pyle Street. A bit further along is Easy Way, where I buy lots of bits and pieces, and a bit further along is TAJ Crafts. And Tracy had put some wool by for me, and I thought I can go next week, but actually I want it now. I want to get on and do some stuff for the show now. And when you see wool like this and you're doing something in bloom, this is lovely variegated, can you see? And I thought, oh wow, I need to be doing variegated ivy and things for the in bloom entry that I'm going to do for the show. So, you know, it sort of jumped off the shelf at me. You know, that's what happens with these things. It jumps off the shelf. And so Tracy had put the wool by. So now I think, what time was it by this time? I'm just trying to think. I left home at 12:30. 1:30, 2. It might have been about 3 o'clock. I'm not quite sure, because obviously I didn't check what time I got there because of the delay. So I thought, well, I'll go and get the wool first, and then I'll go and see Suzy in Easy Way, and then I'll go and have coffee. Well, I went up to Tracy, and Joe was there as well, and I just worked out why it's called TAJ Crafts. It's obviously Tracy and Joe. I'd never worked it out before, but that's why. You know, and so I think I didn't actually know Tracy until recently. She was following me on social media, and then when I went in the shop, she said, "Oh, hello, Lyn," and I said, "Oh, do we know each other?" And she said, "Oh, I've been following you." And this is what happens to me all the time, because I'm so high profile on social. Lots of people are following me, and then it's lovely. I've met loads of new people this week, and I keep meeting new people. It's just wonderful. And so Joe was in the shop today. Tracy was only Tracy was there the other day. Hi, Darren. And so we chatted and chatted and chatted, because as you know, I knit and natter and network, and nattering and networking go together, as does the knitting, especially when you're in a knitting shop. Although I actually didn't knit in there, because what happened, they supplied me with a cup of tea. They said, "Oh, do you want to sit and have a cup of tea?" So I had a cup of tea. We put the world to rights. We talked about all sorts of things, including knitting, and I got my wool, and then I looked at the clock, and all of a sudden it's 4:55, and I'd wanted to go and see Suzy in Easy Way, because I'm helping Suzy. She's going to be running she ran a very successful fundraiser for Alzheimer's Society this last, where are we? Was it this month? Yes, this month. And next month she's going to be running one for breast cancer awareness, and then she's told me today she's going to do another one in September for prostate cancer. And so I helped her raise the visibility for the events, and so I'd wanted to just have a brief catch up with her. Suddenly realised it was 4:55 and she closes at 5, so I said to Tracy, "Joe, gotta go," and just ran down and just caught Suzy and her mum, and had quite a chat and a catch up, and sort of a bit of plotting and planning for this event, which I shall let you all know about, because if you're local, then, you know, obviously we need you to be there if you can support. And this time she's going to be doing a raffle, so she's going to be looking for raffle prizes. We're just going to have a date. It's going to be in July, but I'm away for some of July, so I've given her the dates if she wants me around as to when it is. So she's going to check with somebody else who's helping her. She might do, Nathan. We'll see. We can talk to her about that. I'll talk to her about it, Nathan, and see. yes, when I next see her, I'll have a chat, because I know hospice is very dear to Nathan's heart as well, and lots of people very affected by, you know, and want to support the hospice. Thing is, there's so many causes, so we all need to, you know, do what we can to support each one. So anyway, I managed to see Suzy. Then I wanted to nip across to the works. And although I like to support the local shops, the works is fantastic. It's a national chain, but, you know, they have such marvellous bargains in there, and it does make my pennies go faster. And I'm going to show you a couple of little things I bought in there. My one of my granddaughters is mad, or absolutely mad, on the emojis, and this book was £1, and I thought I couldn't resist that. It says it's all about the secret behind the smile, and I've put a little marker in here, and it says, what does it say? Hang on, I'm just going to read a bit to you. Whoopsie. Yeah, no, that's it. Emojis. Cute and silly pictures that suddenly live inside of all of our messages and devices. It seems like only yesterday that a string of letters combining to form a word was a sufficient method to convey information. But in our endless pursuit to abbreviate and articulate, we've created a new and oddly universal language. Emojis. And then there's a whole lot of history and all sorts of things. Some emoji fun facts. I guess the emoji movie plot. So they've done things in emojis. What else? Guess the emoji book title. They've done all sorts of things here. And I just think this would amuse my granddaughter. So that's a... Hi, Dave. That's another little a little present for one of my granddaughters. And while I was in there, I bought myself a little present. And so that was £1. I spent all of £3, you know, living it up, living dangerously. This caught my eye the other day when I was in there, and it's sticky notes. And if you notice, when I have these books, and I'm wanting to quote to you, I put little sticky notes in, and I'd had some, and I'd used them all. Hi, Helen. So I thought I could splash out £2. Let me show you. So I splashed out £2. So that I've got a whole lot of sticky notes. Look, can you see? Look how many pages I can tag. Look, these are all sticky notes here, and then bigger post-it notes there. So that, because I do reuse them when I put the tags in the books, but sometimes they give up the ghost. You know, here we are. Look, I had some with flamingos on before, but sometimes they give up the ghost. So I thought I better get some more in, and I thought that was a pretty good deal for £2, don't you? And look at all those lovely rainbow colours. So there we are. So I'll be able to mark lots of books for lots of quotes for you going forward. So let's put emoji over there because we've finished with that. Let's put sticky notes over there because we've finished with that. And for those of you who weren't in the broadcast yesterday, I'm going to show you something I got yesterday. I know some of you saw it yesterday, but when you're talking about you can't have too much sparkle, I bought these, but I am not going to wear them. It is not for wearing. It's for something else. And it's something else I'm getting up to. And you need to keep watching if you want to know what I'm going to do with a pair of very high-heeled sparkly shoes. But it was all around the fact that you can never have too much sparkle. I'm not giving the game away on that one. I'm telling you lots of things I am doing, but that one I'm not telling you what I'm doing. And that one, hello, Alison. Hello, Helen. Sorry. And so you'll have to keep watching if you want to know what I'm going to do with the sparkly shoes. One of the things I'm going to request... actually, no, I'll tell you in a minute. Because there's something I'm looking for, and I'm hoping somebody in the broadcast or somebody locally is going to find and supply what I want. Actually, I will tell you. Hello, Wendy. I am looking to see if anybody's got a wig stand they can lend me. I only need it until I need it actually for the 8th of July, but I need it before the 8th of July because what I'm doing, my entry for the county show, I'm making I need to put my entry onto a wig stand. I'm not going to go into too more details. I have said it, but I really don't want to give too many games away in case anybody else copies my idea. But It's around fruit and veg, and that's my entry needs to be on a wig stand. So if anybody's got a wig stand locally that they can lend me, or knows somebody who has, please let them know or tag me, because I'm sure somebody will come up with one. And so, but for this, there's going to be it's involving a lot of fruit. And when I was going back, and now I'm jumping because I'm going back to the journey going back. Actually, no, let's leave that for a minute, because I didn't. No, we'll do the journey on the bus going back in a minute. Because what I did, I as I said, I managed to get to Suzy in an easy way and have a chat around their fundraiser, and it's really good to know that the live streaming is really, really working, especially for our community on the island, for things that are going on. I mean, it's working here. Lots of you come in. I know lots of you are not on the island. Lots of you are, but lots of you are not. But it has been pulling the community together. Suzy was delighted, and actually she said that one of the ladies from the bank, Barclays Bank is almost opposite Easy Way, and one of the ladies came across to her fundraiser, and it was because I live streamed in the shop during the day and said, look, come on over. If you're in Newport, come on in the shop. And I said where we were. And so she was delighted. She said, that they saw the broadcast, and that's why they came and supported. And so, the power of the live stream, it's just so important. It's why I keep doing it. It's building up the whole community. Our community is getting bigger and bigger on a daily basis. It's like, it's not all down to me. I'm a facilitator. I am keeping very well, thank you, Helen. Yes, and so I'm facilitating lots of things, but the rest of you in the community are making it work. It's like dropping the pebble in the pool, and you're pushing the ripples. So I can use the power of live stream, but if nobody watches or nobody shares the live stream, it doesn't go anywhere. But as a community, we are all pulling together now so much more. Collaboration is what it's all about. I still meet people on the island who think, oh, it's competition, and we mustn't share and we mustn't tell anybody what we're doing. Actually, there's not really such thing as competition. There is enough business to go round for everybody, and the more you collaborate with each other, the better that becomes, and the more people work together. So, collaboration is what I bang on about all the time. And through the power of live stream, more and more of us are joining up the dots and working together. And it's so important in a community like ours. We need to pull together. We've got so many charities we need to support. We've got businesses we need to support, and we can do all that. And what I do want to do is help more people actually push the damn button and get on with it. Oh, hello, George. So I really would love to help lots more people live stream. I'm only one person. I find it, that I can't split myself in too many pieces if there's things going on the same day. So I'm looking more to creating a team of people who will live stream things. But at the moment, I can do what I can. And if people ask me and I can manage it, I will do it. So I finished, I finished chatting to Suzy and her mum. And as I say, I nipped over to the works quickly. And then I thought, I'll go back to Comic Coffee and have a coffee in there. Lovely new coffee shop that's based all around superheroes. They got comics in there to read. They've got various characters up all around. They sell merchandise. They've also got Wi-Fi. They were advertising that because obviously that's great for Wi-Fi and phone chargers. So that was really good, obviously being festival time, that they'd highlighted that and put notices outside. So I was going to go in there. Now I must have got the Saturday time wrong, because they normally shut at 7, but maybe on a Saturday, or maybe today for some reason they're early. I don't know. I came back from the works to go in there for a cup of coffee, and they were shut. But I think it was probably my mistake. I hadn't looked at the Saturday times. I knew the week times. They were open till 7. So I thought, oh right, okay. I'm not quite ready to really go home yet. I live in a flat. It was lovely out there. I haven't got a garden, so I just didn't want to come home. So I went and got myself something to drink. I do. Yes, I do, Helen. Very much. I saw George the other day, actually. I saw him very recently and said hello. And so I went across to Iceland and got a bottle of orange and went and said, hi, Angela. Oh, Angela's another Usborne person. We were just talking about Usborne. Somebody was just mentioning Usborne books. Angela, nice to see you. And Suzy's listening as well. Lovely to see you there, Suzy. Long time no see. Well, not that long, really, was it? and so went and sat down. I thought, you know what? I'm going to take the long route home. I'm going to get the number 8. And the number 8 takes best part of... Actually, it was only about an hour and a half tonight. And normally it takes nearly the best part of 2 hours to get from Newport to Ryde, because it goes all the way round a very scenic route. And if I've got my knitting and I go on the scenic route, that's lovely. So I thought I just missed a number 8, but it didn't matter. I thought, no, I'll go and sit on Church Lytton. And, they've got some beautiful roses out on Church Lytton. It's just next to the bus station, for anybody who doesn't know. Beautiful flowers out, some lovely lavender there. And, of course, Lilac Lil loves seeing the lavender, because Lilac Lil is that colour. Lilac Lil is my shopping trolley that also doubles as a walker for me, because my mobility isn't perfect anymore. And I don't like carrying anything. I don't carry heavy stuff, so it all goes in Lilac Lil, and I just push. And so I decided to sit on Church Lytton. I was going to live stream from there, but there was a chap over the other side, and he was having a great conversation with himself, but he was quite loud. And I thought, actually, if I do live stream from here, that's right, they did. Yes, Helen. So I thought, if I live stream from here, although I wanted to show everybody the roses and the lavender, and the festival buses were loading up behind where I was sitting, I thought, he's quite loud, so actually I'm not going to live stream. I'll leave it, because you hear him shouting in the background. So I left it be, and then I went to get the number 8, and got on the number 8 thinking this is going to be a lovely ride home. Now, some of you might have seen a post I put up earlier. Let's see what I wrote. And I said you'd had to come into the broadcast to find out about it, because I can't remember what I wrote. Let's just see if that's going to come up. Excuse me, I'm going to have a drink while I'm just waiting for that. So, what did I put? Oh, there was a picture of the festival guys that I met on the bus. Let's go back a bit. Sorry, computer's being a bit slow. Join me at 10 to find out what happened in my day. Oh, and have you got any grapes? And I'll tell you about that in a minute. But actually, no, it was further back than that. Let's see. I can't remember what I wrote, but I wrote something about thinking I was going to have a go on the bus. Was it that, or was it not? Wait a minute. No, it was something about the bus. Oh, wait a minute. I did a picture. That's it. Well, that was an interesting... I put a picture up of me and the bus driver. Well, that was an interesting journey, as Tom observed. Tom was the bus driver. I didn't know Tom before. I think I've seen him before. But I said you had to be there, but you can hear it in my broadcast at 10. Well, we were, as I say, we were going the long way round, right away from the festival. So there'd be no festival goers on that, because they were all gone to the festival by now, all in their glitzy gold. But first of all, we had a guy who had been shouting very loudly on his phone in the bus station. Hi, Connor. So he decided to get on the bus and sat in the front seat. I sit on one side on the front seat, and he was sitting on the other side. And he was talking in the most loud voice and on his phone, for all the world to hear. And I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be interesting. I thought I was going on the number 8 for a lovely, peaceful journey through looking at the some of the scenery is stunning on the number, on the island it is generally, and the number 8 winds around a lot of the beautiful scenery. I thought, oh, really, I don't really want a shouty commentary all the way, but, I didn't say anything to him, and eventually he hung up the phone. But then there was a very nice-looking young girl a couple of seats behind this guy, and I was on the other side. Hi, Matt. And what happened then was a drunk got on. And there were seats all over the bus, and he decided he wanted to sit next to this girl who then was sitting very pinned in, and he was saying, oh, things like, oh, I'm sorry, do I smell a bit? You know, this poor girl, all she wanted to do was sit on the bus, mind her own business and go. And this drunk, he'd obviously been at the festival, and he'd obviously got a bag full of booze. And once he finished one can, he was on to the next can. But he kept on about, you know, and I could see this poor girl cringing. And I went back to my younger self. I went back to my younger self thinking, if that was me, I would have a... you're loving my things. Good, that's lovely, Helen. I'm glad you're enjoying it. In my younger days, if I'd have been on the bus like that, I wouldn't have known what to do. I certainly wouldn't have, you know, wanted to antagonise the Getfellow. But don't forget, I'm now a teacher, an ex-teacher with years of experience and all these things, and I could see this poor girl. And, you know, then this guy stood up and he messed about. Then he sat down again and, oh, you don't mind me sitting here, do you? And I thought, yes, she does. I can tell she does. And anyway, I watched the scenario for a little bit. Don't forget, I should be doing my knitting, but I'm looking over there. And actually what happened, in the end, he stood up and he moved forward a bit, and I beckoned to her, and I beckoned to her and said, come and sit next to me, because I could see she wanted an escape, and it was my chance to do a good deed, even if she had to sit and listen to me nattering. I did say to her when she came and said, I said, I don't think I smell. I did have a shower this morning. But he was openly saying, oh, I think I smell, you know, and why would he sit next to her if he thought he smelled? It wasn't very lovely. So I thought, oh my goodness, please don't tell me he's going all the way to Ryde, because don't forget, this is about an hour and a half, hour and 3/4 journey. Please don't. Hi, Bob. So anyway, as I say, the girl, she came and sat next to me, and then he went up and sat at the back of the bus. I didn't see what was going on, but when the people at the back of the bus got off, they said he was almost trying to cuddle them at the back of the bus or something. Anyway, eventually he got off, and that was a bit of a relief. He knew he was drunk. He was talking about it, and he said, I really must give up this drinking lark and all that. Anyway, so my lovely peaceful trip from on a lovely, you know, peaceful ride to Ryde wasn't so peaceful. And Tom, the bus driver, he was actually watching. And when we get to Sandown, the bus stops for a few minutes there. It's a stopping place, and the bus driver gets off and has a stretch of the legs. And I went and chatted to him. I said, that was interesting, wasn't it? He said he was watching. And if I had to think, well, I just do my bit, try and help Helen, because I know that girl was feeling very different. She got off earlier, actually. She only went as far as Apps Heath, but she said she was very pleased that I rescued her. So I hope that it was a little deed that I could do. It's one of the deeds, actually. You know, I have a little book on kindness, and I share things out of this. And in fact, look, I've got a marker in it. Let's see what it says today. It's this book is the little things that matter most, and it's by Jamie Thurston, a founder of 52 Lives. And I looked up 52 Lives, and Jamie Thurston set up this charity, or I think it's a charity, registered charity. And what she wanted to do was change 52 people's lives every year. So that's one a week. And she's built this huge organisation, and they do help people. So say there's somebody abroad who needs a wheelchair, she facilitates that. Her charity now facilitates it. There's lots of different things they do around. So it's called 52 Lives, and if you want to know more about it, do Google 52 Lives and you'll find out about it. Yes, Jamie Thurston is the founder of the global movement and charity called 52 Lives, and it says, when kindness is shared, it grows. Unexpected kindness is a powerful thing, and even the simplest of kind acts can have an astonishing effect, because when kindness is shared, it ripples out into the world. Whether giving a kind comment, being a seat vigilante, or going high when others go low, we should choose kindness. After all, it's the little things that matter most. And people have done people have done the kindest things to me, and I just want to pay that forward. You know, people have been kind to me when I've been in difficult circumstances, so now I want to push that forward. You went to Carisbrooke, Day today. Oh, was there a special Carisbrooke Day? I didn't know about that, Helen. I didn't see that one. Lots of things happen and I only find out about them afterwards, which makes me think, why didn't it come across my radar? If they were very savvy on social media, I probably would have seen it. So anyway, right. So today I'm at the chapter. It says we are all at different stages of the same journey and we're all in it together. And the thing is, I try to do things now. I've had, I haven't had it easy. I've had a very difficult, I have had lots of easy bits, but then I've had some very difficult parts of my life. And people have been very kind to me. And the thing is, if I can help people get out of that long, dark tunnel quicker and earlier than I got out of it, then that's one of the things I try to do, because people help me. If my experience can help other people to achieve it earlier, then that's what I try to do. So it says, try to be understanding of people at different stages of life. Teenagers might seem disrespectful. Parents with small children on your bus might seem annoying. But it wasn't parents with young children, it was a drunk, but there you go. And an older person in front of you might be walking a bit slowly. Perhaps that young person was you 20 years ago, and that pensioner will be you in the future. Well, I am a pensioner now. Oh, it's only once a year, Helen. Right, okay, I need to know more about it. When my youngest grandchild, this bit was written by Christine, a grandmother who helps change the lives of many families through 52 lives. When my youngest grandchild was born, healthy and safe, I felt incredibly grateful, but I was also aware that a lot of babies were being born in less joyful circumstances. I decided to devote a year of my life to helping young families. As the year progressed, I learned that sometimes a small gesture can make a difference. Of course, that year has long passed, but it changed my life. I'm still passing on, and I hope that along the way, something I've done has made a difference. And I'm sure it has, because, kindnesses are respected too. People do like it. I helped a few years ago with the Hungry and Homeless project in Ryde called the Open Arms. And actually there's some now people who live across the way from me. There's it's accommodation for people who have been homeless and now have been housed. And some of the people from that original project live over there. And one day I was walking up the street and one of those guys came up to me and he said, and I was only doing what I was taught to do, what I was brought up to do, sort of help somebody if I see somebody needs help. And he said to me, you were so kind. Why did you do that? Why did you spend your time with us? And I just said, well, because he said it made so much difference. And actually, the fact that he bothered to stop and tell me made a big difference to me because, I do these things because I think that, that's what I should do and I want to do it. But when somebody like that comes back years later and says how much it meant to them, that actually is very moving, very emotional. It really sort of boosted me up. And that's, it's a two-way thing, isn't it? We all help each other, or that should be how it is. And me helping them and helping them to get some food and doing things for that, because we did get food in and share it out with them. And that was through the wonderful community that we're in. And that was starting to use social media at that point. But then, them bothering to say that to me, that was a kindness back to me. That made a lot of difference to me. So it is just those little remarks that you can make to people that makes so much difference. And you never know what's going on in somebody's life. And if you smile or say something nice, you just don't know where that's going to lead. Anyway, that's the kindness book. I've got to read out of the next day out of my Butterfly Whispers, the one I read to you most nights. And it's got a page for every day. It's by the lovely Vanessa Louise Moore. And today it's 23rd of June, and it says in here, and it has been, it says, it's a glorious sunny day. So this is how she wrote. It's a glorious sunny day, but you can still feel weary. Are you running on empty? What if want to give more than you have at the moment? Liken yourself to a coffee pot. Fill yourself with love and energy. Then you have enough to pour onto others. Because, of course, if you don't look after yourself, you can't help others. Sit somewhere still and quiet. Close your eyes. You are a coffee pot. So for me today, I hadn't read this before, but being being the coffee pot, I was sitting on Church Lytton, enjoying and... oh, that's nice. The stall holders. Oh, I see. So there were lots of stalls. That's lovely, Helen. So, you know, so for me sitting on Church Lytton today, that was like me filling up my coffee pot. I was just sitting, taking time out. Take off your lid and ask to be filled with love, energy, and whatever else you feel you need in your life at that moment. Replace your lid and say thank you. Now you have enough to go and pour onto others. I do this often and find an analogy of the coffee pot easy to visualize. And so, you know, do you have to look after yourself if you don't refill and recharge? Sometimes I take a night off of my live stream in order to refresh and recharge, because, you know, I can't keep going all the time. Sometimes I do need a little breather myself just to do that refreshing and recharging. So it's important, because if I don't look after me, I can't do anything to help anybody else, is the way I see it. So what else? Yes. So on the way home, having got all this lovely wool that I went over to Newport to buy, I took out this lovely ball of wool because I had with me, don't forget I'm doing these things for the county show, so I'm doing something around fruit, and I wanted to make some grapes. Now they've got sort of lighter purple, but I wanted the darker colour. Mind you, that was a bit of a mistake, because by the time we got nearly back to Ryde, it was getting darkish. It wasn't getting dark, but when you're working on a dark colour and the bus is a bit dark, it wasn't necessarily the best thing I could have knitted. On the way going, I was knitting strawberries. I haven't finished them off, but there's the strawberries. They've got to have their yellow pips on, and they've got to have their stalks on. So I'd made some strawberries going over, but coming back, I was itching to start making some grapes, because I want to make a whole bunch of grapes. And this led me on. I'm going to play you a bit of music. I don't know if any of you know this, but when I hear grapes, it reminds me of my grandchildren, and it reminds me of a song. Now, you have to be careful with copyright when you're playing anything online. And this song is just so funny. I don't know if you know it. It's called Got Any... is it called Got Any Grapes? Or is that's not... No, that's part of it. It's Got Any Grapes, but I don't think that's its proper title. It's called The Duck Song. And let's show. So I wanted to play it... thank you, Helen. I wanted to play this duck song on a broadcast before, because it reminded me about this fun song that my grandchildren love. But I wasn't sure that I should play it because of the copyright. So I got in touch with what's his name, Brian Oden, who's actually the person who created the duck song, who wrote the duck song, and he said yes, perfectly all right to play it. So I'm going to play it to you for a minute. All right, I'm going to play the beginning of it.
Tell me the duck story. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum. A duck walked up to a lemonade stand and he said to
Excuse me.
Bum, bum, bum. Got any grapes? The man said no, we just sell lemonade, but it's cold and it's fresh and it's all homemade. Can I get you a glass? The duck said, I'll pass. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle, till the very next day. Bum, 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 ba-dum. When the duck walked up to the lemonade stand, and he said to the man running the stand, hey, bum, 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 got any grapes? The man said no, like I said yesterday.
And this, I'm going to stop it there. But this song goes on and like that, and the duck keeps going backwards and forwards to the lemonade stand, and the lemonade stand guy is getting more and more irritated. And then one day he said, if you keep doing that, I'm going to glue your foot. I'm going to glue your foot down so you can't go. And so the next day the duck comes up and he says, I came up to the lemonade stand and he says, "Hey, have you got any glue?" And the guy says, "No." He said, "Right." And then because he hasn't got any glue, he can't stick him down. So he says, "Have you got any grapes?" And so it goes on. My grandchildren absolutely love it. And I thought of that as I was starting to knit my grapes. Now, the first grape I knitted was rather more like a beetroot. It was too big. But I was knitting on bigger needles than I should have done. And so then I made a smaller grape here. I want the bunch of grapes to be noticed. It's got to be noticed, so I can't make them too small. So I was making grapes while I was on the bus, and it just reminded me of that song. So there we are. So that was most of my day. I'm just looking to see if I've got anything else that I need to see. No, I haven't. That was the main thing. So I got back safely to ride, and I insisted on having a selfie with the bus driver because we've been talking about all this fun. I said, "Oh, I must take it, must put you on my social media." So he had a picture, but I had to do it very quickly because the number 9 bus was in, and I wanted to get off the 8 and quickly on the 9 to get home. I was keen to get back by then. I was getting a bit weary, and so that basically was my day. As usual, meeting new people all the time, knitting, nattering and networking. So lots of things. Hi, Maxine. So really, lots of fun on the way, lots of glitter, lots of sparkle, all these people in their lovely festival. They were all in these lovely shiny costumes and glitter all over their faces, and it was just wonderful. So I don't know how they're going to judge the best costume, but I should go and look on social media. I'll go and look on Twitter probably and see the Twitter feed with all the pictures there, because it's lots of fun. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to go and I might do some more grapes, finish my bunch of grapes. Definitely now I've got this wonderful wool that's variegated green. I want to knit some ivy. As I say, I'm doing entries for In Bloom, Time for Tea and Fruit and Veg for the county show. So you will be, over the next 2 weeks, you will be seeing lots and lots of fruit and veg and cupcakes and strawberries. I'm doing things around a strawberry sort of tea, so there'll be a lot of strawberries coming out. Yesterday I was knitting one of these strawberry tarts, so I haven't finished it yet. I've done the pastry case and half a strawberry. Got to do the rest of the strawberries. I've done the cream, so that's around here somewhere. Got to finish it off. I do hop around. Hi, Jacqueline. I do drop in. I do chop and change various things on the way going. I was doing. There's a strawberry, and there's one of the cupcakes with a strawberry on it, and there's a sunflower. That's what I've been doing on the bus as well. So I hope lots of you from the island are coming. Good night, Helen. I hope lots of you from the island are coming to the county show. Today I was tagged again. There's some knitted food in God's Providence in Newport, and some people have wondered whether I'd knitted it. I haven't. My friend Laura tagged me today. Laura, we haven't met yet. We're going to meet soon, but she's a good Facebook friend of mine, and she took pictures of the God's Providence food today and sent it to me. And then somebody she knows I said, "Oh, it's lovely." Somebody she knows came on and said it's actually her nan who knits that food. So now they've worked out who actually has made that food. And again, there's a teddy bear's picnic, and there's some Knickerbocker glories, I think, and lots of lovely food. So that's what I shall be doing over the next 2 weeks. We'll be knitting fruit and veg and flowers and what was the other thing? Tea, things for tea time. So whether it's a high tea or a picnic, I'm still working out exactly what I'm going to do. But if anybody out there has got a wig stand and lives on the island and is willing to lend it to me, I would be delighted. Okie dokie. And I'm going to drop the link in for the if you want to watch the duck song, I'm going to give you the link just so that you can, because You might find it annoying or you might not. You might love it. So let's put it there. Thanks, Helen, for all your comments. Not many other people interacting tonight, but quite a lot of people coming in and out of the broadcast. It's lovely to see everybody doing that. I do appreciate you all being here, because if you weren't here, I'd be just talking to my phone. So anyway, I'm going to go and do a bit of knitting before I wind down. I'm not quite sure of my plans tomorrow. Various possibilities, but keep watching and you'll get an update probably tomorrow night. I think I'll broadcast tomorrow night. Sometimes I take a night off, but not sure. I'll watch my page and see. Okay, so love you all lots, and thanks for joining me, and see you all again soon. Bye for now.